Doesn't have to be the other way around.
I don't think we have to explain anything to these people.
Hello, and welcome to Co-op the Podcast. I'm your host with the most amount of phlegm, Jesse.
And I'm your host with the most amount of bullshit, Raven. And thanks for joining
You're
us.
stealing my most.
I know, I took your thing.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us for our very first episode of Co-op the Podcast, and Happy New Year. Since it's January
Happy New
1st.
Year.
It's
January 1st.
Yep.
When this comes out.
Not
right now.
Yeah, not right now. We're still in 2018. We're a year behind.
Sending messages to the future.
Beep, boop, bop, boop, 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 bop. That's why. What's the TARDIS sound? Oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, it's not hard to send messages to the future, so I don't think we should brag about it.
That's a good point.
Anyways.
So our podcast, Co-op the Podcast, is basically just a conversation between me and my beautiful husband, Jesse. That's you.
Yep, who's just a little sick right now.
We're both a little sick.
Yeah, the holidays.
Yeah.
Need I say more? No.
Ugh.
But, so we're going to just have a conversation and pardon the phlegminess of our voices. I used phlegm twice now.
Phlegm,
Podcast.
Yeah, within the first
Now we're the
5
podcast
minutes.
that's about phlegm.
The Phlegmcast.
Yeah.
And also, sorry about any noises from the gallery down here. Ripley's got a bone. Nope, she's out of here. She's like, fuck off. So let's talk about the podcast a little
what's
bit.
the reason we started the podcast?
We started this podcast, I would say, as kind of a way, because we're not hardcore gamers. We're not
hardcore anything. We're casual everything.
We're literally the most casual people you've never met in real life, but heard over a podcast. We like talking about nerd culture, gaming, movies, TV, comics, books, things like that. But then we also really enjoy, I'd say, sports in general. We're really big into football. I almost won my fantasy football league this year. No big deal. Babe, what place did you come in?
First, I think.
No, last.
I don't know. It depends on how you read the list.
Okay, I mean, that's a good point. But we just like talking about really anything. And something that kind of really sticks out to us is kind of breaking down gatekeeping and stuff like that, trying to making it accessible.
Yeah, we figure that most everybody out there is just like us, not an expert, but very interested and, will probably have similar conversations with their friends and will enjoy hearing us talk about it because we're the best.
Obviously. The experts on being casual.
Yeah, the experts on being not experts.
Experts on things, yeah. I think that's actually another podcast. I think you're looking for Dak Shepard's podcast, maybe. No.
Yeah, lots of good podcasts out there. Go listen to some other podcasts.
But listen to ours first. And since you're already here and just
you
chilling.
already gave them free advertising.
I know. Since you're already here, you're just chilling, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast on like iTunes and stuff like that. And then leave us a review. 5 stars, please and thank you. We deserve it. We were good this year.
But also let us know what we need to improve. This is our first podcast,
ever.
So it's going to be a little rough, but we're hoping to improve as we go on and give you guys everything you want to hear. Talk about. If you have suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, you can reach out to us on email. You can email us at coopcouple@outlook, or you can find us on social media at Co-op the Podcast on Twitter, and you can basically find us on Facebook and Instagram under the same name. So how about we get started?
Yeah, let's jump now since we got past all that self-promotion, pitching, and all that stuff. We'll jump right into the podcast itself. And so each podcast we're going to structure a particular way with some an overall theme being
theme,
New Year's,
quote unquote,
for this podcast.
For this particular episode.
Sniffles.
And basically what we want to talk about in this particular episode is what our New Year's resolutions are. We kind of got this idea from someone that is big on Twitter, has his own podcast, Mage Productions. His name is Lee. He's at Shimmerwind Isle. So go give him a shout out and go listen to his podcast. But he was asking for gaming New Year's resolutions, and we're going to kind of touch on that. But we also wanted to talk
some other New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, we're well-rounded people, so kind of not just focusing on the other stuff. But maybe, since we're putting this on the internet for all to hear for the rest of our lives, you guys can kind of keep us in check and see how we're doing on our resolutions.
No, don't put that juju on us.
That juju.
Before we jump into resolutions for the year and things like that, we're going to add a section into our podcast at kind of the beginning. That's going to be our quick outtakes on what have we done recently, what are we finding interesting, what stuff is, what games are we playing, reading,
watching, what we're excited about.
It's our list of hot takes.
Hot takes, except that
sounds like that's weird to say.
Yeah.
Is that like somebody else's thing? Is that why we can't use it?
I don't know. I just don't think that that's the right word. Maybe we should call it hot cakes.
We're into baking right now. Yeah. So for this episode, it can be hot cakes.
Okay,
maybe.
whatever.
So for our latest hot take, what did we do over the holidays?
Yeah.
Everybody goes back home for the holidays. You visit the family, and after a few days, you're tired of hanging out in the same house with everybody. So what do? You see a movie. Everybody does it.
Like during the holidays, Christmas, my own experience, we always would go see a movie, probably on like the day after, just to get some silence, peace and quiet, and not hear these people talk.
Yeah, you just want to be together still. Of course, you love everybody in your family.
Debatable.
But sometimes, we've been talking a lot. There's no new questions, and you just want to sit in air conditioning.
You need something new to discuss, like we're about
to do. Like a movie.
Yeah, like a movie. And the one that we saw with my family, we went to go visit my family this year, was Aquaman, the hit film starring Jason Momoa, who looks great, ladies. Real good.
So did
Amber Heard. Yeah.
But yeah, Aquaman was
and
very good. Oh yeah, I mean everybody looked good in the movie.
Yeah, the movie looked really well done. It wasn't like, Jesse, you've had some problems with DC movies in the past.
Right, this is the best DC film.
I think the new age DC films.
Right, of the ones that have come out, since Ben Affleck became Batman, right?
Post.
That's Batman. Or is it Matt Damon? I can't remember.
No,
which one's playing Batman.
Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Yeah. But
see, that's how much I care about how good those movies are.
Yeah, but post Christian Bale, because I thought that those.
There have been good Batman movies, but since they became the DC universe and they're trying to do the whole Justice League thing, Aquaman has been the best one. I mean, Wonder Woman was good.
Oh, I loved Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Batman versus Superman was okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't super great. Superman movie was okay.
Yeah.
I'd watch all of them again, multiple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justice League was a little disappointing.
Suicide Squad was a little. No, it was okay.
Is that the same universe?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I believe so.
I thought Suicide Squad was good, so if that's the same universe. Is there a second one?
No, there's not a second one. I don't think there's a second one. See, I haven't seen. So I
should have researched some of these movies a little bit. Yeah.
But
see, we're not experts.
Yeah, not experts.
Not experts.
But we should go. I haven't been able to watch Justice League. I haven't kind of gotten myself to do it. But with that, going into seeing Aquaman, I still think it was very good. Like, I don't think that I missed anything from Justice League, where Jason Momoa's character or version of Aquaman was first introduced. It was absolutely stunning. I think that, like, visually, it looked so pretty.
Visually it looked great. The music was really good.
Yeah, my friends or my family kind of compared it to Tron, the the newest version of Tron. I guess you can also say the older version of Tron. That's Ripley. But I thought that Aquaman really did it. Had kind of that look, and it also had that the music was kind of similar to Tron too. They were doing kind of like an 80s kind of,
right,
I think, synthesized kind of sound.
It was all good. Definitely solid recommendation. Go see Aquaman. Even if you didn't like a lot of the other DC films, I think you'll like this one. You know, the Aquaman story just lends itself to the film format, I think, better than
some of the other ones, for
some of the other ones right now. Especially with what they're trying to capture with the whole thing. So I think, I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, so other than movies, board games
we played
is another popular thing, right?
That's always been something that I did with that side of my family. We always would play board games. My brother Alex is super into
does he have a Twitter?
Gaming. He does not have a Twitter.
He should make a Twitter so we can
they should all
him. We could promote him.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh well.
He makes perler art, right?
He does.
He sells it online, and that stuff's really good.
Yeah.
So.
It's super cool. A lot of comic book themed stuff.
Right.
But my brother Alex and my other brother Richard are both, and my dad. Okay. Everybody except for me are all a little bit more hardcore into tabletop gaming than I am. So they had some really great games for us to play this time around.
Yes. All right, the dog has to go on the ground.
She's snoring a bit too much.
We can cut that last little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, my brothers were always way more into gaming than I was growing up, so they kind of are a good kind of group to reach out to if I'm ever looking for games. And this time around we played two specifically that I really wanted to talk about. The first one is The Thing, The Infection at Outpost 31, which came out in 2017. Supposedly I'm looking at the boardgamegeek.com kind of review of it. But, I thought it was really cool. So if you've ever seen the movie, The Thing, and is that a Stephen King book, The Thing?
That's Stephen King, I believe,
Yeah.
You
sure. have no idea.
Yeah.
Let's look it up real quick.
No, it's Stephen King, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So basically there is an infection that kind of happens to like these group of people in Antarctica. Is Antarctica? Maybe we should have done research before, which we just said.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here. Okay, The Thing.
John Carpenter is the director. Kurt Russell, love you, babe. If you're listening to this podcast, call me. You or Goldie Hawn. I'm cool with either.
No, it's not written by...
Okay.
It's just, it was a short novella.
A novella.
Who Goes There? That then got turned into...
A movie. Okay.
So really we should say based off the 1982 film.
Yeah, it's based off the film from 1982.
Directed by John Carpenter.
Yep, directed by John Carpenter. And it's basically, if you haven't seen it, it's about like a group of... I'm not going to ruin it.
Don't give away the spoiler. Okay.
Right. But I don't know if you know this, but there's an infection. And basically this like crew of this group of guys in Antarctica, I believe, are all trying to figure out who is infected, things like that. And this game does kind of tie into the film, but you don't have to have seen it. Like, I probably haven't seen it in a really long time, and you don't necessarily need all that to be able to really enjoy it. But basically, the game is one or two of you are infected, and you're trying to infect the rest of the crew or make it out of the outpost. And then the rest of the group are trying to figure out who's infected and fight off.
So you guys are all on the same team, but one of you is betraying the team, and maybe two of you are betraying the team, and it can spread. And there's a lot of situations where the infected can win.
Yeah, which they did.
Yeah, which is kind of like, it seems like there are more options for them to win than the players to win. It's definitely, it makes it challenging. It makes it fun.
Yeah.
We all appreciate that challenge for sure.
And in this particular game, I was the first one infected, but I was trying to be all sneaky.
Which, were you infected at the very beginning?
Yeah, I was infected at the very beginning.
From the start of the game?
From the start of the game, yeah. Okay. I was infected. And I think I was a maintenance worker, so there's 3 different types of kind of characters that you could play. I know that there's a scientist, and there's a maintenance worker, and then, what's the other one?
It was like the supervisory or the operations, I think.
Operations, yeah, that sounds right. So you could be any of those characters, and they're based kind of off of the characters in the movie. But you each have to, at least, there's usually a list that says what kind of people can go in there, whether it's like a scientist or a maintenance person, or if you need like all 3 to be able to like clear out a room. And so a lot of the game was basically us trying to go into these rooms, and you'd go in, and if you're infected, you try to sabotage it, which I tried not to sabotage because I was trying to kind of go under the radar and kind of just sneak onto the ship, and if I snuck onto the ship, I would win. That's
exactly the thing. Is at the end of the game, if you escape, but one of the people that escapes with you is infected, you lose, and the infected win. So the goal as the non-infected are to survive, eliminate the infected, and get on the helicopter. But you can still lose. So at first I was kind of trying to decide who was infected and who was I going to rely on. And I really gravitated towards Raven's brother Richard because he was always super helpful.
Maybe a bit too helpful.
Right. That was my... And I mean, I was safe. I was right. I originally assumed you were the infected and just kind of went from there. But I could have almost... I could have been fooled. So there's definitely methods of play.
And my brother Alex ended up... he ended up getting infected halfway through and he would only sabotage in a group that I was into, so it made it seem like I was the infected, which I was, but I wasn't sabotaging anything. So, like, you could be super manipulative and super sneaky in this game, especially if you're the It or the Thing.
Yeah, the Thing, yeah.
That is a Stephen King novel.
But yeah, okay, so... That's that game. It was super fun. Definitely recommend picking it up. I think you can find it on Amazon. Let's see. The Thing, Infection at Outpost 31. You can find it on Amazon for about $40. $60.
$60
$40,
or so.
$50.
Yeah. It's really fun, really pretty, very easy setup. I would definitely recommend it. And so we played that when we first kind of arrived, and then close to the tail end of our
which was a bummer, because if we had played this throughout the entire
whole
trip,
week,
we probably...
I would have been so pumped.
We probably would have only played this, though, so, there is that, and we have nieces to entertain.
Yes, 4-year-olds. Yeah. So, this game is called Shadows of Brimstone. And it was released, I believe, if I'm getting this right, in around 2014. And basically, it's kind of like I like to equate it to Briscoe County Jr. because that show is really good.
Great show.
Totally recommend. Bruce Campbell, he's amazing. The Chin, he's great. But, so, this game is kind of like in the Wild West, and you're kind of...
And I'll say there are a bunch of expansions from what I can tell, and I think not all of them are going to be exactly the Wild West theme.
Yes, that's true.
But maybe the original or the one we at least played was, and that definitely spoke to me.
It spoke your language.
It's so cool.
It spoke your language. Howdy, partner.
Howdy, partner. Exactly. It was super fun. But it sets up very much like it's like D&D. You can have campaigns that spread over time, or you can have one-off games, and You do a little bit of role playing, but
just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and then it's
too like. I wish there was more RP for my style of playing tabletop.
Right. That's why this is perfect for that kind of. The one-off I think was great, and if we had done a smaller campaign, you could do. Hey, we're hanging out all week. Let's do a couple games.
Right.
Campaign,
I think it is probably really good for people that are new to playing tabletop.
That's true too.
games.
Yeah, if you just want to get into the kind of tabletop game. So it's similar to D&D in that it is like a, somewhat role playing. There's like less role playing elements, like you said, but there's some of them. So it's a good intro.
Yeah, it's definitely a good
but it's
intro.
Also with the tiles and the like miniatures and things like that, it kind of introduces you not only into the card-based, imagination-based tabletop bits.
Yeah.
So I think all that comes with that the box set, right? You get some of the miniatures and some of the tiles.
Yeah, I do remember Alex, who owns the game. He has like an accordion.
He owns all the games, yeah.
Yeah, he owns all the games, if we're being honest. Yeah, well, so you remember Alex had these accordion style, just like kind of, what would you call those? Just like...
file organizers.
File organizers
really,
full of tiles for the game. He had all these extra little
boxes full of the minis.
Of the minis
tokens.
and stuff. And so I would say that it might be better for a GM who has a game master, who has some experience and it already has a collection of games to get, and then bring their new friends in.
That's one of the things though that I really liked about it is that you don't there was no real GM or DM or Alex got to play with us while still running the game and still making sure everything happened on time, but because everything is so structured, this happens when this happens and this happens when this happens, and everything's based on some dice rolls. That's what makes it like a little bit easier role playing wise, a little bit less role playing, right, of course, which some of us really enjoy, some of us don't, made it easier, so it makes it a good intro. So
sure.
But super fun. Let's talk about the characters a little bit, because what did you play?
I played a U.S. Marshal, and one kind of cool thing about the game, which I will also kind of criticize, are the cards are really cool, and they have a male side and a female side, so that if it's kind of inclusive to all genders. The imagery was very stereotypical.
Yep.
And I thought they could.
Just being inclusive doesn't mean we have to get rid of traditions of.
Well, okay. So it was kind of like, and when I talk about Briscoe County Jr., like that's the same. It kind of portrayed the same imagery, but having Asians be sorcerers and things like that. So
that's an expansion. That's why. That was an expansion that he brought. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's an expansion, ninjas, samurai, assassins.
Monks.
Yep.
It's kind of cool.
It was cool. So some of our party, Raven's brother Richard played the assassin, and her brother Alex played the traveling
monk
priest, I think.
It was
what it really was.
So no, there's a priest.
And there's a monk.
Yeah, because there's also like a nun that you could play.
Oh, right. A Catholic priest. I gotcha. Yeah. So there's that, and then I played the gunslinger while she played the
U.S. Marshal.
U.S. Marshal, right. So we had a good mix of our group, and what our adventure kind of was to go into a cave and look for this resource called Darkstone.
I think it's Darkstone, yeah.
Right? Which is a radioactive mutagen of sorts, and why in the long run anybody's actually looking for this, I still couldn't quite grasp. It sounds like it mutates you a little bit at the end of every adventure, and which is an advantage.
You can get some really cool hentai tentacles, I hear.
Right. That was a deeper part of the game that we didn't really quite get to for a single adventure, but we were after it. And so we were going into this mine, and we were going to explore. And as we kind of went through the mine, tiles were added. So the mine was evolving as we were going at random. So there was no real
all at random
set path. And so the adventure kind of unfolded, as a real adventure might.
Right.
As we searched for it, and we faced a couple bosses as we went down. But yeah, we with the variety of players we had, and who we actually chose to be. We had a lot of different powers or abilities to use throughout. I had a 6-shooter that I really liked.
Yeah, that was cool. I had a shotgun, and every time I killed somebody with the shotgun, I got to attack another person, and that was pretty cool, especially, like, if you have that, like, RP moment where you're like, I'm, like, Sarah Connor, like, pumping shotguns with one hand. Like, that kind of makes it so much fun, and
yeah,
the
super,
bad guys
super
too.
Fun.
Yeah,
the bad guys were super fun.
They were kind of cool. They were very. What was it? It's like a cult in Pathfinder, like the
like a
Cthulhu
type
kind of
tentacle guy.
Illithids or whatever in D&D or whatever they're called.
Yeah, very interesting. And it sounds like there are lots and lots of options to put together different. It sounds like there's zombies in this. There's the occult people. There's like space ghosts. There's right.
Space ghosts.
And there's all sorts of stuff. So you can put together all these different pieces.
And the game can be different because a lot of times you kind of get everything at random. So like each encounter, each thing is going to be different going from one to the next.
Right. Like we encountered our bosses pretty quick.
Yep.
Like we were finding clues left and right as to where the start stone was supposed to be, and we were summoning like the mini boss guy happened in room like 2 or 3. We were already tackling that guy, and we struggled through it a little bit, but we made it through. So by the time we got to the final boss, I felt it was pretty easy at that point.
Yeah, that one was. I think that one was a lot easier. And
we
technically,
weren't very
with
damaged.
the second boss too, we didn't even.
Those were our only encounters too.
Yeah, I know.
We never encountered like just monsters, right? Like,
right,
it was only
like
boss,
yeah.
So that probably helped us out a bit too, because we weren't very damaged.
Yeah, because what you're supposed to do, kind of also like Call of Cthulhu, is you take sanity hits and wounds. So it's kind of like you could go insane, like.
Yeah, and I was very close to going insane.
Yeah,
the majority of the final battle.
I had a bottle of whiskey.
Well, yeah, you used it on me though. So.
I did.
But yeah, very good game. Definitely recommend it. Shadows of Brimstone. We're gonna pick it up for sure.
That was so lame.
Yeah, well, that's our new thing. We're gonna say things in sync. But yeah, we're gonna pick it up for sure. It's on Amazon. Again, Shadows of Brimstone. There's a bunch of expansions, so maybe do some research on which ones you want to pick up. I don't think you got to pick them all up, right?
Yeah.
What's the price on Amazon?
It was like $60, which I bet you get a ton of stuff.
Yeah. So. I will say that Alex did tell me that the first expansion, the original box, is out of print now.
Ooh.
So you may be buying that secondhand, in which case expect a higher price after the millions of people who listen to our podcast all go after it.
So many people. You're welcome.
eBay
Shadows
drives up
of
the
Brimstone.
price. But yeah, check it out. Amazon, eBay, wherever you buy your board games.
Yeah. Your local gaming store might also have it. So
yes,
check those
always
out.
Support small businesses.
Yes, always look at your local gaming store first.
Yeah.
What else did we
one we didn't get to play, but a game that we should probably talk about because it's out there and they would appreciate the free advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
We're really excited about it is Good Society.
Yeah, it's a Jane Austen RPG. And basically, it's kind of similar to the last one where even the GM can play as well. So I was going to GM and I was like, of course I'm going to play. Why wouldn't I? But it's so much fun. Again, Jane Austen RPG. And basically, it's like a collaborative game. There's really no dice rolling, but you kind of decide where your story is going and what you're doing with those around you.
Right, so people who are interested in this and maybe don't know too much about tabletop gaming, there not being that much dice rolling means it's going to be a lot of role playing. You have to step into the character and make decisions as they would. Yeah. So just be prepared for that element. A lot of people who first jump in or aren't very familiar with it will kind of use their own thought processes, and you have to say, well, actually, how would my character
kind of
consume this information?
Right. If you have specifically like a dowager mother who's trying to get her kids the hell out of the house and not to try to like kill her off, how are you going to react to certain situations and things like that. And the other cool thing about this particular game is I'm super into character creation and RP and things like that. So I like this game because you get to play 2 characters. You get to play your main character and then kind of a more supporting character for your friends, basically. So if you're one of your characters is the Dowager Mother, you might also be the sister of someone in a family that's been excommunicated or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
So it's pretty cool. Again, the thing about no dice is nothing is really left up to chance and something not happening. But what you do have to, I think you have to pay, to make something happen, you basically pay these tokens. And you're like, I want to know about this, or I want my character to do this. And you have to basically convince somebody that they want that to happen too. It's very collaborative, like it says.
And there's that's the strategy behind it. It's sort of like playing Game of Thrones, but in the,
Jane Austen settings.
World of manipulating the environment around you and things like that. Yeah.
Setting your single female friends up with a well-to-do suitor, stuff like that.
Like you want to get people in the same room together, so you got to pull some strings.
Pulling strings.
Make it happen, and they see each other from across the dance floor. And,
you get the band started. Let's go.
Yep.
I gotta set up these people.
It seems really good, even for somebody like me who doesn't necessarily like these things.
Specifically, romantic-ish novels, classic novels.
Yeah, I'll read them. I have read them.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen the movies as well. I'll be a good sport and I'll try it out. And I actually look forward to trying it out as well.
Yeah.
So, but they were on Kickstarter, right? Is where we picked them up?
Originally found them, but now you can get them on storybrewersroleplaying.com. I definitely, I think I purchased the game in mid to early December, and I got it before we went on our trip. So before Christmas.
So from Kickstarter to start, they're already
shipping,
out, so you can actually just buy it now.
Yeah, and they give you cards because there are other characters that kind of have to be played. So they give you cards like that, and you also get this super, I'm gonna call it cute. It's really cute.
The book.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a journal, or it looks like an original printing, probably.
And that's
Pride and Prejudice.
That's the rule book.
Yeah, that's your player's handbook, basically.
Yeah. No, it actually looks really nice for. It fits the motif.
Aesthetic, yes. Yeah. And you can basically get all of it for cheaper through PDF because this is a technological age, and so you can basically get that. You can also get expansion packs. I think they're pre-ordering that right now.
There are a couple expansions coming out, looks like,
which is awesome. Which we wish Villainous would come out with an expansion pack.
Yeah, that's another game that's really great. We're not going to talk about it in this podcast, but since we mentioned it, Villainous is awesome.
It's dope.
You basically play as Disney villains. We very, very recommend it. We've played it like a couple times now, and we are itching to play it more and more and more. And
I just want more villains.
Right, like who doesn't love playing as a Disney villain? And then like they start out with a bunch of the good ones, and if they
get Hades, and if they get
Hades would be awesome. Yeah,
my person
literally. There's infinite potential with this game, I feel like, and they did a great job on the ones they came out with. So they can only go up from there.
Yeah. But good society too. Check them out. Really great. There's also a lot of videos that you can watch that kind of give you a good idea of how to play. So definitely check those out.
Yeah. Okay, and then while we're kind of on the topic of what we did for the holidays too, I mean, the other big thing we did. So again, you can probably get the picture of what we do while we're hanging out with Raven's family in particular, because we all love the nerd stuff. But we talked about movies and board games, and we didn't play any video games. That didn't happen.
No.
But we watched anime.
We did watch anime.
And we all like anime. And that was where I was going with that.
Yes.
We're all
Is that where you were going? Roundabout.
we're all nerds, so we watch some anime, and we want to talk about this one because it's one that we really like, and I think if you haven't watched it yet, this will hopefully push you over the edge, and you'll just go watch it.
Yep.
If you're not interested in anime at all, you should still watch this, because I think once you see this, you'll be like, oh man.
My sister-in-law watched it, and she loves it. So, and she's not really into anime.
Not into the traditional, DBZ and stuff like that, right?
Right. Or any of the other, secondary. Other ones,
whatever they may be. Yeah. Bleach, Naruto, anything like that. Right. She hasn't seen
Fairy
them.
Tail. She hasn't. Yeah, she may have watched Fairy Tail.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways,
and who knows what she would say. But My Hero Academia.
What's it called, babe?
My Hero Academia.
Say it one more time.
My Hero Academia.
Yes. I wanted you to say it in the other way.
Oh, Boku no Hero Academia.
Boku no Hero Academia. So
Boku no Hero.
Yep. So we watched it before we went to Mississippi. Obviously, have you read the manga?
Yeah, which we say manga on this, by the way. I know people are going to correct us and say it's manga.
Manga.
But I don't know. I've just said that since before I knew what the word was, and so we stick with it. So it'll probably slip out, but we'll try and say it correctly.
Yeah.
The manga. Yeah. I've read it, and so I'm caught up, and I catch up all the time. Through very legitimate sources online.
All legitimate.
We all know how that goes. I think it's against the copyright, but
anywho.
So I keep up to date on it for sure every time it comes out.
Yep.
We watched the subbed version.
Japanese. We usually like to
watch we prefer
anime.
subbed. But
it just I don't know. There's something about, and I love voiceover actors. I think they're so great, and they do such great work in making everything line up. But when you hear it, how it's originally meant to be with the voice that they've casted for it, I don't know. There's something cool about that. But when we were watching My Hero Academia at my brother's house, we did watch it in English sub, and or English dubbed, and I think that it was still really great. I don't think that it took anything from it. I can't remember which one I listened to, and I tried to listen to it in English dubbed, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, sometimes it's not great, and sometimes it's better. But, this one is definitely well done either way you choose to watch it. Mm-hmm. And it can be found on Hulu for anybody who's looking for both versions. And Crunchyroll, I'm sure, has it in both versions because they have both as well.
Subscription.
But yeah, so it's really great. The kind of setting is that in this world, most people have superpowers.
Quirks.
And it's actually, called quirks. And it's actually rare not to have superpowers. Of course, our main character falls into that.
Where he doesn't
rare
have a quirk.
Doesn't
He's
have
so
one.
Special.
But
He's
he goes
like
through.
Us. We can relate. We are quirkless.
Yeah, he goes through a series of challenges and grows as a person. And, he has a great mentor in All Might. Who is he is like Superman, kind of. He's super powerful in this world, unstoppable, unbeatable, doesn't actually have any weakness that we know of, no kryptonite. Has his own challenges though.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil
we don't want to spoil anything. But has his own challenges, but helps Deku, our main character, because I can't remember his real name.
I can never remember his real name. It's always Deku.
Yeah. Grow and become a real hero. And this whole story is told kind of in
Deku's
from the future, from Deku's point of view, as this is the story that brought him from a scrub all the way up to being the greatest hero. He thinks he thinks he's a scrub. That's the sad part, is he
knows he's a scrub.
He's down on himself, but still has these dreams and hopes, and he pushes through.
All of us.
He pushes through, and this is the story how he becomes the greatest hero of all time.
Yeah.
So.
And it's really great. You get to meet all these other kind of they're superheroes.
Oh, they're so great, yeah.
They're in superhero training, yeah. And so he's in training with all these other people that have quirks. And they have really cool quirks, like Bakugo can...
Yeah, Bakugo's my favorite.
Yeah, he's
for
really
sure.
cool. Yeah.
He's the rival character, the Sasuke to Naruto, the Vegeta to Goku, the whatever you want to compare it to. There's probably more classic literal examples.
What's the guy from Fairy Tail? The ice guy? Is it the ice guy? Whatever. Anywho, I'm gonna try to find some of the other heroes.
But yeah, he his power is his sweat is like nitroglycerin and it explodes. He makes explosions and he's angry all the time. He's got an explosive personality, but you can see the great thing is our main character, he grows, and a lot of anime does this thing where the main character just gets more and more powerful and is unbeatable, and like Ichigo in Bleach.
Yeah.
Every time he comes to a new battle, he gets way more powerful. Every single battle.
Right, exactly.
All the way up until he can beat, the final godly people, right? And it's like, I don't want to say it's unrealistic, but it's unrealistic, right?
So unrealistic.
And Deku has that capability because he is going to become the most powerful hero, like we already know it.
Right.
But we also get to see him grow, and at the same time, everybody else around him is growing.
Oh, yeah. Everybody else is
including Bakugo, his rival.
Mm-hmm. His rival, because they
and
always
that's
have
what
to
I
have
like
a
to
rival.
see. Yeah, he's the rival, and we see him growing. That's why he's my favorite. Mm-hmm. He gets better.
One thing that I genuinely, y'all, I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm a female. I'm a girl, and I still, like we said, Jane Austen RPG. I really love that. I like the relationship that Deku ends up having with kind of his, I would say his main love interest, Ochiko. I think it's pronounced Ochiko. If I'm wrong, y'all are gonna...
we're not experts.
We're not experts.
That was our whole thing, and we're definitely not experts at pronouncing
Japanese names.
Anything right.
But their relationship is really cool because it reminds me of when you're in high school and when you're in school and how everybody is kind of assuming no, you guys like each other, and eventually you could tell when feelings start to evolve and stuff like that. So that's something that I really enjoy out of kind of a mainstream anime, because I feel because in Bleach you do know, people guess, and then eventually we do know because it's already ended, but that and probably Naruto and ones like that, you're is he gonna get together with her?
They always have a relationship element,
yeah. And they always kind of play it by ear, is he gonna get together with Sakura, or is he gonna get together with Hinata, whatever. So in this one, it's pretty cool. I like the way they do that. I really like that about animes a lot. But this one is really good. The story is really interesting. There are villains, too, that you kind of get to know. Yep.
There are nothing but good, cool characters.
In the show,
well developed, with cool powers, And there's no... I guess there's nothing... I don't really want to give anything away, but the overall story is also very good. The main villain, because there's always one big overarching villain, so it's all really cool. We definitely recommend it. I couldn't believe that my brother, who is super into anime, had never seen it. And so I'm sure most of you have probably seen it.
Yeah, it's probably
don't be an Alex
old.
And wait.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah, and I think that it's light anime, kind of. It's full anime, but it's something that I would recommend to some of my friends who don't like anime.
Yeah, so. I agree. So definitely check that one out as well. So we've probably spent about an hour talking now and mostly been focused on our hot cakes. So maybe we should actually get into the theme of the podcast.
Yep.
But the way we'll typically run... Oh, excuse me. The way... I'm sick, guys. I'm gonna make weird noises and stuff. Hopefully not too much. But the way we'll typically run the podcast is the the hot cakes, whatever we call it, each episode will be however long it takes to get through it, and the theme will be however long. There'll be no real, like, structure. Like, it doesn't have to be short and then the theme long. It doesn't have to be the other way around.
I don't think we have to explain anything to these people.
Loosey-goosey.
Yep.
That's the way we're going to do it. So I just don't want anybody to
be confused between episodes. So, New Year's resolutions. Yeah, it's a new
Happy
year.
New Year's again.
Happy New
Yay.
Year's. Is that good?
Yeah, I guess.
Thank you. So, most of the time, you'll see resolutions of people trying to lose weight, or which is in our resolutions.
Yeah, I like them.
Trying to drink less soda, trying to try something new. So we've got a couple. Jesse, did you write any down?
I did not write anything down. Yeah, I'm just gonna wing it as we go. But I can tell you this: there's definitely gonna be something about fitness in there. So. Yeah. Just because we fat, y'all.
We fat, y'all. Well,
not really. We're healthy. Yeah, we're good.
We're pretty healthy people.
We work out regularly.
Yeah, I do yoga. Verde. Yeah. If you're local to the Seattle area, I'd look up Verde. Yep. It's really great.
VerdeOrganicBody.com.
Yeah, they do massages. Yeah. But we're pretty active people, so I guess like. What is your resolution specifically with fitness?
My resolution's going to be to get my body fat down.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with my weight, right in around 200, everybody, in case 200. You want to...
Hundreds.
We'll start tracking stats here, so whenever you guys make my... it's not like a baseball card, but whoever makes podcast cards, when that becomes a trading game in the future, can put the accurate information on there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, around 200 pounds, so at about 6'3", that's a good, comfortable weight for me. Mm-hmm. I would just like to increase the muscle to fat ratio, which I don't have an accurate measurement on. Probably need to identify what it is so I can start tracking it down, but I know it's too high.
Yeah.
So.
And then for myself, it's just to work out regularly and do more yoga. I do yoga. I like yoga.
Yeah, I want to do more yoga as well because I do have personal yoga resolutions.
Yeah,
probably.
Yoga resolutions.
I would love to be able to do like a forward fold more fully.
Yeah.
Actually get my heels down on a downward dog. Probably. I've got tight hamstrings and calves.
They're so tight.
Yeah. I'll probably work on loosening those. So more yoga.
Mine's mostly with the yoga.
Sure.
With the yoga is just do stronger poses. Like do poses that are a little bit more strength based. Maybe they might not necessarily be. I'm not a professional, but being able to do crow pose completely.
Balance.
Headstands, balance. I'm really bad at balance.
Balance is big for both of us. Yeah. I think other than balance, so you have pretty good poses and everything you do, and I look over there. So
you're looking over. Hey.
I always look over.
Hey.
See how well you're doing. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah. It's part of my favorite things to do during the week is to go to yoga and do it with you.
Nice. That's so nice. So. Oh goodness.
But yeah, yoga.
Dab it up. But then, like with our fitness classes, I'm more into. So I've kind of leaned. Now I'd like to get buff. So I'm gonna work on my squats and my deadlifts.
Up your numbers.
Up my numbers.
Yeah. So what we should maybe do then is on our blog start posting what our
numbers are.
What are our squats? What are our bench?
We're all about people staying healthy and doing stuff that they like to do. Or if you don't like to go to classes, because that's what we do, maybe at some point we can like retweet, reshare some like at-home yoga poses or some ways to lift weights and stuff and do body weight at home so that everybody's a little bit healthier. Not trying to, I don't want to influence anybody to do anything they don't want to do, but if you are interested, let us know.
Yeah, actually, let's do this. So during the month of January, for sure, tweet at us what your resolutions are, what some of them are, and if you have some that are fitness-based, and we'll we'll consult our friends who are more experts than us, and maybe get you guys in touch with somebody who can give you more information on how to achieve that goal. We can help, and we can help keep you on track, and you can help keep us on track. And that's fitness stuff.
Yeah.
On to other stuff, though, we can also do the same for other stuff. But let's move past fitness, because we said we weren't going to talk about it too much. And
okay, we won't talk about it too much.
Unless you have more to add.
No, I don't have anything
off,
else.
Yeah.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
What are some gaming resolutions that you have?
So I would like to, in our D&D campaign that we play right now on Tuesdays that we haven't played in a little bit because of the holidays, I would like to be able to talk to humans, but that is specific.
That's game specific.
But I would like to actually get a character in any D&D campaign up past like level 10.
Yeah, same.
That's a goal for the year.
Yep.
So I'd like to get consistent and push through that. We got busy schedules. Everybody does. It's hard when you have games like D&D and they really rely on everybody being able to get together, and we're all working professionals.
Yeah,
we have stuff in our lives.
Yeah.
So I'm sure many people who play D&D can relate to this resolution.
Relate 100%. I know they all can.
Let's get some consistency going and make it climb up the level ladder.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest gaming resolution.
Yeah. Mine last year, which I did do, was to play more D&D. And we ended up playing a lot more D&D because I guess before that year we weren't really playing any. We didn't have anybody to play up here, play with up here. So that was mine from last year, and I did that. And so this year I would like to play more tabletop games in general. We hit the mother load this Christmas, and I got a few more that I want to kind of bring into our rotation, and I'd like to get more.
And they'll all hit the podcast.
Yeah, y'all will hear all about them. Some of them are old, some of them are new, and we just haven't gotten to play. If you have any recommendations or want to see us play these games, like if we do like a stream or if we do a podcast of us playing it, just let us know and hit us up on Twitter about that. But yeah, that's definitely up there for me, is playing more tabletop games, playing more D&D, or playing more Pathfinder.
Oh, yeah.
Cthulhu, like branching out in our RPGs too.
We should do an episode at some point that explains the difference between D&D, Pathfinder.
They're all very similar.
Yeah, they're very similar, and they're basically interchangeable. We're trying to address to people who have never played any of them.
Yeah.
Which one do you jump into? And if you jump into D&D, are you going to be unable to go into Pathfinder? And, the short answer is basically no. All of them are very compatible and easy to understand once you get the mechanics down.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for a
whole
whole
episode. And they all have different stories
and
and stuff like that. But
different
we'll definitely
settings
talk about that
and things like that.
at another time. But yeah, so that's my tabletop gaming one. Just video games in general. Just want to finish the games that we have.
Yeah, so I'm a super huge Kingdom Hearts fan, and our goal is to do a podcast specifically about, what games we played when we were kids and how we're still playing them now.
Which is like a big thing.
It's going to be a nostalgia-themed.
Anyways.
Not to go into it too much, I know. But yeah, so we're trying to play through those. So Raven needs to live up to that one pretty quickly because it comes out pretty early in the year. So she'll be able to cross that resolution off.
So at least a little bit. Yeah, that one. And then let's go Eevee, which is great.
Oh,
but we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah, that's another good one.
So just finishing the video games that we have and maybe going back and playing some that I've never played. Again, we're pretty casual gamers, so it's not like a game immediately comes out. We already have like the pre-order. We got the pre-order DLC. I mean, there are certain games,
yeah, for sure, but most games we just buy them whenever we think about them and then play them for a little bit and move on.
Usually
I definitely, for... Not to go back too much, but for tabletop games, one of my resolutions that I'm thinking of, because it goes with the game of life that we got, I want to get a lot more classic games. Clue, what are some other ones? I can't think of that now.
We got the game of life.
Yeah. But anything like
Monopoly,
that, games that like
Risk.
Monopoly, Risk,
Risk.
the classic
Risk.
board games that kind of we all played board games when we went back home too for Christmas, and these are games that like my grandparents had, right? Like these games have been around forever.
Yep.
I think we should get more of those, and we should build up our classic collection because we got a lot of modern games. Board games, but
we could always use more of all games.
Yeah,
we're inclusive.
Exactly,
to
we
all
could use more
games.
modern games, but it would be nice to have some of those older games as well. So that was the resolution for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and for video games is to play more VR.
Oh yeah, you got VR this year for Christmas. Santa did you good.
Good job.
I know.
Yeah, good job. Santa is very real though, and did bring it to me.
Yes.
Yes, just in case.
And Santa is me.
Yes. Well.
I'm Santa. Shit.
Yeah, we don't know. This podcast is for all ages. Santa is real.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm going to play more VR because I think VR has, on the cycle of things, is about to hit its second wave up with a lot of innovation, and I don't want to be left in the dust when it comes to VR gaming. So I got to start practicing now.
Yep, you got to get in it now. You got to get your just get used to it, because I don't think that I could get used to it at all.
Yeah, it's a whole different feeling, and when it evolves to the next stage, it's probably going to get even more enclosed around your head, so you can like kind of go into that feeling of I'm here.
It's like Ready Player One kind of shit.
Have the gloves now that they're starting to come up with, so you have all the different points of articulation and stuff.
Yeah, what was that video that you showed me?
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
Yeah. It was just
really
on Reddit.
Cool. It, like got all of your
all
your finger crunches.
You can move your fingers, and it had like haptic
pops,
feedback.
Yeah.
So you can kind of
moved.
feel what you're
joints.
grabbing. Yep. And then we've all seen like the little treadmill things, right? Like I'm not saying that's gonna come out anytime soon, but as soon as that comes out, basically you're gonna feel like this is all real.
Yeah.
And I want to know what I'm doing a little bit before we get there.
Right. So, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have one more resolution. I guess like just continuing besides just continuing like the just eat better.
Oh, dieting.
Clean my makeup brushes more.
Yeah. Things
like that. Another one that I want to do, and I'm sure this is going to make you so happy, but is to finish, read more fantasy novel series and finish the ones that I've already started.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Specifically, I have to finish the Wheel of Time series for you.
Those are my
favorite.
Yeah.
And
those are my favorite. It's because I'm secretly want to be a Mormon.
Oh, really?
That's why.
Yeah, secretly.
Yeah.
You write in your
Something
journal.
appeals to me about having multiple wives.
Oh, yeah? Sure. Fine.
No, that just sounds like a handful.
Yeah.
But it is a very good book series, and you should definitely finish it. And maybe when you finish it, we can do a touch point on it, so everybody who doesn't know. Robert Jordan, though, wrote most of them.
He's a Mormon.
Yeah.
He has Mormon undertones. Nothing wrong with Mormon undertones, but Mormon undertones.
Yeah, there are definitely Mormon undertones to the whole thing. But yeah, Robert Jordan wrote most of them until his passing just before the end of the series. And Brandon Sanderson, who is a friend of his and fellow fantasy author, he has a book series. He has several book series. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I read those, and they were really good as well. I read them after the fact, after he did the Wheel of Time, and I found out who he was.
Yeah.
I went back and read them. It was like Mistborn or something. Super great. Either way, check those out as well. Once Raven gets done with them, we'll...
Yep.
But yeah, Sword of Truth, the Shannara stuff, all sorts of Forgotten Realms books you gotta read.
I gotta read. I want to read
Pratchett,
Dragonlance. I want to read Game of Thrones. I haven't actually read that at all. Right now I'm reading the Foundry Side series, which I would recommend. I'm only on the first book. Audio tape. I don't enjoy the audio book, but the actual novel is pretty good now that I'm like picking up. I usually will like listen to books while I'm working, so I tried to listen to that one and couldn't make it through. But reading the novel, I've made it much further. So definitely recommend that. And yeah, just have a lot of books to read in 2019.
Excuse me. Yeah, I probably should make the New Year's resolution to read more books.
You should. I agree. Maybe comics.
I could read more comics. Today's comics don't interest me as much.
Read the old ones.
As the older ones. I could go back and like reread some older comics or reread some of the books I've read. But I think I'm gonna try and do new stuff. Maybe just
stuff. You haven't read Family Side,
Yeah, I don't think I'll do fantasy or books. I'm looking for more nonfiction books to read.
Because you're a nerd.
Yeah, I want to read more books by intellectuals of the era right now.
Science and whatnot.
Yeah, science, philosophy, whatever sort of stuff. Maybe some history books too to
history
check
would be
those.
cool. Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. But I want to read more, and I would like to read more of those books because they're more difficult to read for me. So
yeah. And I definitely recommend everybody having at least something like that on their resolution to read more. Maybe it's read more articles, read more books in general of any kind.
Yeah, definitely. I think
that's what
reading
I tried
more
to do.
Articles might be a good one too. Maybe reading
yes,
some
because
more.
we're intellectuals.
I was thinking for me, because I would want to read those books. The books might be hard because they're 300 pages.
That's
but maybe
true.
if
They're
I
all
start
textbooks.
reading a couple articles, I'll be able to do it. So what I'm really thinking is, I know like Bill Gates puts out his reading list for the year or whatever.
Yeah.
I might just start following that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the most interesting book
Exactly,
list.
right? Like they're going to be
sarcastic.
good. They're going to be good books for me to read, but they might not be the most palatable.
Right.
Off the start. But that's where I want that resolution to go.
Yeah.
And then what else have we covered? We like all the basics. Like we're going to work out and diet and
be more mindful and think less
what are
about
all the basic
possessions.
bitches like what other sort of stuff could we just throw out there?
Right. I don't think we have to. Is there any other like nerd? One of the things is I like to get caught up on the TV series that I have let just kind of fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
Like I need to get caught up on all the Netflix Marvel series.
Well, yeah, you do. You need to get caught
I
up.
have
It doesn't
time.
matter.
I have time, but I like to get caught up on those.
Which, if we talk about theories that are completely not backed by any evidence of anything, I do think that they probably just got canceled so that Disney could put them on their platform.
Right, but
when it comes
I did
out.
hear that Disney said no, they're not doing that.
Disney will say whatever the hell they want, right?
Will, yeah.
And then they might still do it, but they were ratings win. I don't know how Netflix actually determines, but they were ratings winners on Netflix for sure. When like Daredevil came out, everybody talked about it. When the next one came out, everybody talked about it. Like they're all over the internet. I would just, with my limited understanding of how all this works, I can't imagine they were not good shows to have. I could imagine that Disney would say, I could imagine that Disney would say, we're gonna charge you a crap
Well, like
ton
all
more.
the Disney movies are coming off too, I hear.
Right, exactly.
So that just makes the most sense.
Yeah, Disney was basically like, hey, we're doing our thing, so licensing prices just went way up.
Right.
And so maybe Netflix was like, okay,
and
we're
they
not
had
gonna
to
do it for the
spend
future.
like $1 million to get Friends for a year.
Well, yeah.
Netflix did. Yeah.
It was like $100 million or something.
Was it $100 million? What is wrong with you people? Friends isn't even that good. I mean, it's good, but the relationships
Friends
are a
is
little
super
toxic.
great. But it's a super old
TV show. If you haven't seen it by now, it's too late.
Netflix played $100 million.
$100 million? I thought $1 million was too much, and so that's why they had to get rid of all the other, like a bunch of other
just
shit.
through 2019.
Yeah.
So there were probably some factors that really limited their potential.
Great. Don't think I hate Friends.
We love Friends.
We
love the
Friends.
show Friends. We will watch it.
Is it worth $100 million for you to put it in the background as you sleep?
Especially if it costs you new seasons of shows
Daredevil
that are also really good.
and Luke Cage.
But that's not the only factor.
wonderful, beautiful man.
It's not the only factor in the entire show, or in the entire world of, Netflix and their production.
Yeah, they
and
still
whatever.
Have Stranger Things.
So Disney probably is also rocking the boat, and what Disney decides to do when they actually, because they're going to have to move everything over, and they're going to have to approach all those actors and give them new contracts. So it definitely is a huge headache for them, and they might not do it. But I think they will, because I think they can make just as much money as Netflix is going to make off those shows.
Why do I have to have, 8 different streaming services to watch all my shit? I just want cable again. At this point,
then cable's not going to get that stuff.
I know, and that's the thing. Now we have to have cable. We also have to have Hulu, Netflix, Disney streaming, HBO Go. I have to have everything. I'm tired of it. Of it.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's the world we live in now. I'm not gonna complain about it too much. We can complain about it at some point, but there's nothing we can do except for sign up for all of them.
Yeah. This is not us advertising. This is not a paid advertisement for any of those services.
Yeah.
But so my last resolution is make about 52 episodes of Co-op the podcast.
Yeah, so just come out with a consistent schedule for
the
podcast.
Yeah. At least release a episode a week on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, you'll see our cute little faces.
This is a great way to transition into our closing statements here.
Yeah. I'm good at connecting things.
Yeah. So that's what our schedule is going to be. Every Tuesday, look for the podcast wherever podcasts can be found.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely do
iTunes, YouTube. What's the other one? Starts with a scribe.
Stitcher.
Scripper? God damn it. We already fucked it up.
We'll find it.
Yeah, you're already listening to it. You're probably on there.
Yeah, we're going to... we're just going to put them out every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Tuesday. You'll find them. We'll make sure you find them.
Yeah, for sure. So, you can check out, though, for schedules, updates, as well as our blog and anything else we're posting at our website, which is
coopthepodcast.com. And co-op is one word, almost like coop.
Yep, that's coopthepodcast.com.
In case you were confused about how to spell calm.
Yeah. You can find us, too, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things, at Co-op, the podcast.
Yep.
You can find Raven specifically. You want to give them your Twitter?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Raven_co-op or coop. Whatever makes you feel better. It sounds like Raven Coop.
Raven Coop.
I'm
Raven _Coop. That's where you can find Raven.
That's where you find me.
Yep. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well under Jesse CO_OP. I tried to get the same format as Raven, but it was taken. So Jesse CO_OP. And Jesse is JESSE.
Yeah,
there's no
none of that I bullshit
That's
in here.
That's how girls spell their name.
You're a boy.
I'm a boy. I spell my name the boy way.
The boy way.
I'm sure anybody else out there named Jesse knows.
You know
it's a
that.
pain when you go to Starbucks, but it's okay. Check us out. Follow us. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a review, please. 5-star reviews only. Anything less than 5 stars and
is unacceptable.
It's useless to us.
It
means
that
nothing.
Shit out of here.
Yeah. But definitely give us some feedback, though, as well. We definitely welcome criticism.
We do. Only a little bit. Don't yell at us on the internet.
Yeah, if you want to send us, DMs instead of posting it publicly, that works as well.
Yeah. But yeah, again, we're not professionals. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, definitely thanks for joining us, and look forward to our next episode.
We'll catch you next week, kids.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.